4 of Neetcode 150 group anagrams. This is a medium problem, and it asks us first to find all the anagrams, and secondly to group them together within a list. So just a friendly reminder, an anagram is basically two words like eat and tea, where you can take the first word, rearrange the letters, and get the second words. So we see that they both have the same letters, E, A, and T. But if you just put the T as the first letter, you're going to get T. But if you take town, for example, well, it has an N that E does not have. So they are not anagrams. So how can we do this? So here we have a list of what could potentially be an input given to our code. And we're going to have to create a hash table where the keys will be something like this string as 1A, 1C, and 1T. And the values of this key will be all the strings that has 1A, 1C, and 1T. And we can also have another key for the strings that has 1T, 1O, 1P, and 1S. So here we'll have pots, tops, and stop. And lastly, we have a special key describing the letters that compose hat. But in code, it is not as obvious as writing this string as 1A, 1C, and 1T. So one thing that we can do is to have something like this. So an array of 26 index, and we have a 1 for an index where we have that letter. For example, A is the first letter of the alphabet and it is present in X, so we're going to add 1 here. Now we have C, which is the third letter, so at the third position we have 1, and we have T here that is at the T position in the alphabet. And this is basically the same thing as saying this string as 1A, this string as 1C, this string as 1T. So let's see how we can code this. All right, so we're gonna use a default dict for this exercise because it's gonna simplify the work. You'll see the reason later. But first, let's write our default dict. So we can call it map of words. And we're going to say default dict. And you have to specify within the brackets that we are taking a list. And we're going to go through every word of the input. So for word in strs. And now how we can create a list of 26 zeros at first. You can simply say elevated code equal 0 times 26 like this. And then for each word, we actually want to go see the letter. So for letter in word, we want to add 1 to basically the count of the index of the letter. So for example, here, when we iterate through A, we want to add 1 to the index 0. So how can we do this? First, we can access the count list, and without knowing exactly how we're going to access this index, we can go ahead and write plus equals 1. And one wise trick to access the index is to use the ASCII or Unicode value. and we can access this with the method ord. You can see its power here. For example, I print a, and I print the Unicode value of a, which is 97. For b, it's 98. For c, excuse me, I did an error here. For c, it's 99. And if you basically take the ASCII value of c and remove it and remove the ASCII value of a, you're gonna get 2, which is exactly the index in our list we want to access. So basically the index is going to be the ord of whatever the letter is minus the ord of a. All right, how it makes sense up to here. And now here comes the value of the default dict. If we build a dictionary, we have to ask whether there is a value at this key. Otherwise, we're gonna overwrite the previous one. But in the default dict, it's gonna do this work for you. It's gonna check if there's a value. If there is not a value, it's gonna create a key. Otherwise, it's simply gonna append or add whatever you decide to add to this key. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do map of words. And we're gonna write basically I made a mistake here. And to this, we're gonna append the word. All right. And at the end, we want to return a list of all these values. So you can do this by saying return list and map of words dot values. This is going to access each values of each keys. And I actually did a mistake in my code. Feel free to pause the video to find it. All right, so the error that I did is that you cannot pass a list as a key in a dictionary, but you can pass a tuple. So you're gonna have to make sure that the code you add as a key is a tuple. And this is it. If you submit the code, it works. And I would like to end the video by showing you this representation of the code. So this is exactly what we wrote. So for S in the strings here in this code, the inputs is called strings, SRS. So for each word, we're gonna create our array of 26 zeros. And we're also gonna print it, and we're gonna print the word, so you can see it pretty easily. For each words, you have your empty list of zeros, and then for each letter of the word act, I'm printing basically the letter that we're adding plus the code at this moment. So when we add A, you see that our list has a 1 in the A position. Then we add C, so it has a 1 in the C position. We add a T, so it has a 1 at the T position. And this is happening also for pots, which is the second words. We add a 1 to P, and on and on. I'm gonna pass the other words as the principle is the same. And now you can see here that I'm printing the values of our map of words. They are basically the list of the anagrams. And finally, I'm printing out the values when they are within a list, which is the results. All right, so I hope this video helped you, and I hope to see you in the next one.